What is up, DCS Crew? It is Carlos back at it, and yeah, I'm a little my voice is a little hoarse from Blade Show. Got a lot to talk about though, and we're gonna go ahead and start this review talking about the Kunwu Knives Orion. This is something that came across my table as a result of the Apex pass around, so huge thanks to them. And yeah, it's an interesting knife. It's promising to be one of the highest quality value priced S35vn titanium handled folding knives that you can find that has a quality heat treatment. So just how good is it? Well, stay tuned and find out. See you in a second. Okay, guys, so listen, I'm gonna have to ask you guys to bear with me. My voice is not doing so good. I don't know, I must have come down with something after I came back from a SHOT Show in Vegas, but in any case, I'm gonna try to barrel through this review as quickly as possible, but you know, touching up on a couple of points that I have for this particular knife. Now, I do want to go ahead and tell you that as far as dimensions are concerned, okay, we are looking at a handle length of 4.72 inches and a blade length of 3.54 inches on the Kunwu Knives Orion. This was a knife that was recently backed via Kickstarter, and it has been completely funded. I believe it's going into full production. This is a knife that is being manufactured in China, so unfortunately those who did get into the Kickstarter, if you're interested in picking one up, given that there's the issue with the coronavirus over there and the Chinese New Year, it's kind of a 1-2 punch when it comes to delay of manufacturing and shipping of knives. People literally stop everything that they're doing over there for the Chinese New Year, and the fact of the matter is there's quite a bit of the area that is being quarantined. So I was lucky enough to get the pre-production sample that you see before you today to go ahead and go over this particular review. Okay, so yeah, this is on ceramic bearings. This is an anodized titanium backspacer, laser strike carbon fiber right here up towards the top. It's kind of like just a layer that's on top of, well, right under the pivot here. And if you notice, the pivot is plain on the presentation side, which means the takedown pivot is actually on the side with the pocket clip. The pocket clip is very nicely tailored, and it is a frame lock, as you can see. It does have the frame lock insert, and there's a lot to really like about this knife. I mean, I like how, like, just the way that it flows from the top. I like how it has the orange peel handles as well. The scales, you can actually see the texturing not only here, but if you look close enough, let me see if I can get that into the camera. There are some ripples that are here, and I mean, it really adds to the overall feel of the knife, which, by the way, this is probably the lightest titanium knife that I have ever felt in this size. It's deceptively you know, big but light, and that's because what they've done is they've taken the inside of the knife and they've milled the titanium. I don't know if you can actually see it in there. Let me see if I can get my my light out here and see if I can point it out there so you can see it a little bit better. All right, and you can see a little bit of the skeletonization in the liner. Well, actually it's milling, it's not skeletonizing, but yeah, you see what I mean. All right. Now, the pocket clip is not deep carry, but it does carry deep enough to where it's not that big of an issue. And as far as the action, like I said, it's on ceramic roller bearings, and just probably some of the nicest action out of a box that I have seen in a very long time. So how does it compare to other folders? Well, I'm gonna go ahead and show a couple here so you can see the differences in size and dimensions. And we can start off with this guy right here. This is the concept Sprite from the recently opened Kim Ning knife company right there. Okay, and this is the CJRB Centros. That's the Dylan Mallory design. Let's see, what else do we have? This is the CJRB Tala in copper. Very nice Warmcliffe blade. Okay, very similar in size, as you can see everything so far. Then we'll get something a little bit smaller. This is the Kaiser Assassin. This is a Carlos Elsner design. Of course, I'm going to go ahead and showcase a Carlos on the channel, right? And this is the the Civivi Elementum. Okay. Now, thoughts on the knife. Well, I can tell you that I'm not really used to carrying a knife this big, and I'll be completely honest. It was surprisingly easy to carry this in the pocket. The clip carried very well. It was positioned in a way so that it does not hinder the lock bar, so that when you open it, I mean, it's not going to have a problem. And then one thing I actually like to do with flippers now is I do the 5-finger flick challenge. So if I can open it with all 5 of my fingers, then I know that it's a good knife. Okay. And as you can see, so far I am 4 for 4, and there you go. All right, and it clicks and it locks up really well. That's 5 for 5. So now, if I could nitpick about something, you know, on this particular knife, I didn't think that it was a really good choice to put a red laser strike carbon fiber with a blue anodized backspacer. That was something that kind of irked me. I mean, I wasn't really feeling that. And in all honesty, I don't know. I don't know why that was on there. I mean, if maybe this was just, you know, maybe darkened or just left, you know, a standard color, or maybe this was blue and they made this a blue laser strike carbon fiber, I thought that would be a little bit better. There's that. And then I do feel like the knife itself is a bit thin, but that happens a lot with a lot of titanium frame lock flippers. You know, either they're too thick or they're too thin. It's really hard to be able to get that right size. It is a bit large, so it's not something that I would normally carry often, but I can tell you, I mean, with the size of the knife and just how it feels pretty well in the hand. But I don't know, it's just I something about it is a bit different to me. I mean, I guess it's because of the fact that I'm used to thinner blades as well, that this doesn't really feel like, I don't know, it doesn't feel like it belongs in my pocket particularly. But if you're used to something a bit more overbuilt, like say a ZT, you know, something like that, maybe a Benchmade Adamas, and you want something a little bit slimmer and dressier, this is actually a really good knife for you. And plus, you know, a lot of people will be put off by the fact that this is one, you know, this is another Chinese-made knife. Now, the thing is, and this is where I'm going to get into a bit of a negative, and let me go ahead and clean this off really quick. Okay, and I will talk about this one negative before I end the video. Well, I give it my final thoughts and I end the video, because I'll try to end this quick. When this was on Kickstarter and Kunwu Knives was talking about knives in general and why they ended up, you know, picking this one thing that they decided to do was they decided to market this knife saying that the S35vn steel that's on this particular knife was hardened to 62 HRC. Okay, that's 62 on the Rockwell scale. Now, there's a problem with that. And the reason why I say there's a problem with that is because there's another YouTuber who actually tested this steel. Now, granted, he used a sample that is totally different from the one that you're looking at in this particular video. He used a different knife, but when he looked it up, he actually found that the HRC was more along the lines of 58 HRC, which is about, you know, it's 4 points lower. And in actuality, it wasn't even 58, it was 57.8. So 57.8 as opposed to 62 on the Rockwell scale is going to give a large enough difference in performance that you're going to want to raise an eyebrow about that. So what does that mean to you as an individual? Well, if you're paying for something for with regards to performance, you want to know that you're getting what you pay for. And unfortunately, nowadays, there's a lot of production knives that are issued that state they are one particular Rockwell hardness, and they're another. They're usually much lower. The problem with that is that you're not getting the performance that is being sold to you, that's built into that price that's being sold to you. So you have to be very wary of that. I'm not saying that that is the case of this knife. It might not even be the case of the Orion that you pick up. But I do want to say that in one of the knives that was issued, they did test it and they found that it was not 62 HRC, and it was in fact 57.8. So, but other than that, I mean, if you're into larger knives, this is actually a really nice knife. With the knives that I had here, like say, for example, the CJRB, the Centros, or the Tala, these are actually both off of tool steel. It's a semi-stainless D2 steel. And the other knife that I have that was kind of like the same size was the Sprite from the Kim Ning's concept knives. And in all honesty, this is actually, I think the MAP price on this is something close to like $200. So I think for this, you would be getting this anywhere between just under $100, I want to say in the late 90s, to about $130, depending on how it's packaged and how you end up purchasing it. So for the size and for the price, if you get something with the hardness at 62 degrees, at 62 HRC, you're probably getting a really good deal. The only problem is that I'm not really feeling, like I said, the red laser strike carbon fiber with the blue back spacer, but there are a lot of other things, like the handle scale texturing, the S35vn steel, the fact that it's a nice firm frame lock. It fits well in the hand. I mean, ergonomically, it just feels like it fits really well. It fits, very naturally, not only in the standard, but the reverse grip. And being that this is, a nice drop point design, you don't have, you're not going to have issues with this particular, blade shape, using a guided sharpener, using stones, using, a KME, a wicked edge, whatever you choose. So this is actually a pretty good knife. I am interested in seeing what else Kunwu ends up doing and how they actually respond to that video that came out with the HRC issue that JCoolG19 ended up posting when he showed the results of the blade steel to be, I think it was something like 57.8 HRC. That's a big difference. So that's the Kunwu Knives Orion. Big thanks to the Apex Pass Around for going ahead and showing this guy off. And again, if you have any questions, feel free to go ahead and drop me a line at dailycarrysolutions@gmail.com or my website, www.dailycarrysolutions.com. Feel free to go ahead and subscribe to this video, this channel, if you liked this video. And if you have any questions, feel free to go ahead and hit me up anytime. And remember, ladies and gentlemen, no matter what knife you choose to go ahead and carry, if it's the CVV Elementum, if it is the Concept Knives Sprite, if it is the Kunwu Knives Orion, remember, if you EDC, think of DCS. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. I will see you next time. And sorry again for the voice. It's just, it is a little hoarse, and I'm just trying to barrel through these reviews for you. Make sure you guys get some good quality content from me. Just trying to keep it real. So take care, guys. I'll see you next time.